And I'm curious, have you noticed, because I've noticed this and, occasionally I'll ask other people, have you noticed over the last few years, I don't know, I mean, for me, I really started noticing it like 4, 5, 6 years ago, but it seems to be a lot more noticeable as time moves on. But have you noticed how the energetics and the manifestations and the synchronicities are so much, I don't know what the right word is, like stronger or faster or more noticeable the last couple of years? Have you noticed that as well, or is that just me? Or maybe it's all the psychedelics I do.
Yeah, and it could be, right, more and more of us individually are practicing this, and so it makes the whole sort of, let's call it the earth human sphere, makes all that stuff work more easily because there's less resistance to it. Could be you're just getting more practice. You're getting out of your own way more. I don't know. But I've also noticed, so I started saying to myself, I'm going to be the weirdo among my friends and teammates and things like that. So when people want to explore something, they feel safe with me because I've already put myself out there. I'm talking about aliens, talking about psychedelics, talking about non-ordinary reality. So now, almost every time I go out, somebody pulls me aside and they're like, "Hey, you want to talk about UFOs? Like, you want to talk about psychedelics?" And I'm like, "I love it," but it's showing me that all these people are really wondering if they can find something for themselves in thinking differently.
I love that you bring this up because this comes up so much with my clients who are stepping into this new realm of business entrepreneurship, most of them becoming coaches and healers, and a lot of them working in, bridging in psychedelics or bringing in, pieces of psychedelics into their work. And people are still scared to talk about it. And I get it because Derek witnessed me scared for a few years, but I keep saying more and more people are getting curious or waking up or reading more or learning more or hearing more about this. And if you are that person that's already starting to speak about it and share your truth and your voice, what it's going to do is, it's going to attract the people that resonate and then attract the curious people that want to talk to you a little bit more about it. And that's where these doors open. And now I'm curious, Derek, do you find that your clients also go through this feeling of like, okay, I really want to start talking about psychedelics or aliens or, things that are just, or even just like spiritual self. But do they go through this as well, where they feel that fear or like, what will people think, or how will this be received? Does this happen to your clients as well?
Sure. Yeah. And some of them get really stuck, they, even if they've been in this world for decades, right, they still have one foot in caring about what. So I deal with this in my own life, but it's a symptom of people that are living in a thought process from the past. So a religious indoctrination, a materialism, scientific indoctrination, whatever it might be. And like my family, my grandfather, super religious, my dad, super scientific, concrete materialist. And so if I can talk about this stuff that I'm learning with them and they're able to listen and that's sort of my proving ground. But a lot of people, they get stuck because they get to this edge and they think they might lose a key relationship if they are themselves. And that's terrible, right? Like, so people are withholding who they really are. It's like coming out of the closet about, being gay, but it's coming out of the closet about being a free thinker or whatever it might be, coming out of the closet is always scary. I'm getting goosebumps as we talk about it because that's when you have to be brave. Like that's when you choose to be uncomfortable and knowing like, and again, you think bigger. Like if I make this decision, if I go down this path and I'm open about who I am and how I think in my work and all these things, what does this mean for the world? What does this mean for generations to come? What does it mean for how people see me? And even if someone thinks you're kooky now, they may come around, right? You have to put a stake in the ground and just show up how you really intend to and let them change their own behaviors and thinking and mind and neurons and all those things.
Yeah, I love how you reminded people that very often they actually come around, they join you. I don't know about you, I went through this back when I was running marathons a lot, and I was kind of young, and I was living in New York City, and it was very common to stay out really late and get wasted on the weekends. And very often I was like, oh, I have to go home at 10 o'clock because I had to get up at, 5, 6 a.m. for a 22-mile run. And my friends at the time made fun of me. It was not accepted. It was weird. It was like, what the hell are you doing that for? And it was the same thing with psychedelics and the same thing with ayahuasca. And it's the same thing with Burning Man. I could go on and on. But majority of those people that gave me shit for running marathons, they actually ended up taking up running themselves. And it's even my own brother who's recently took up running a couple years ago. He's made a joke about, well, maybe one day I'll start to meditate too, because I'm also the weird one that goes on meditation retreats, which now we're seeing is not weird anymore. It's like super mainstream, as is psychedelics, and as are all these other things that are coming down the pipeline. UFOs, who knows what's going to happen there.